What's up to Lion Talk Live, sir? We love you too, buddy.
What's going on, guys? It is Aiden Hutchinson.
What's up, everybody? It's Calvin Johnson Jr. here, a.k.a. Megatron, a.k.a. First Ballot.
What's up, man? It's your boy Amon-Ra St. Brown.
Greetings and salutations to everyone out there in YouTube land. This is Dan Skipper, offensive weapon for the Detroit Lions. Make sure you all help support Lions Talk Live and Coach Dan by clicking on that like and subscribe button. Everybody, woo!
I love nothing more than watching Lions Talk Live every morning. Woo!
Woo!
All right, well, greetings and salutations to everybody out there in YouTube land. I'm your host once again, Dan Thornton, and I want to thank you all for joining us here today. I get it's after 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on a Friday, and yes, we've got some news that's really started hitting the wire about 30 minutes ago. About 2 or 3 days ago on Lions Talk Live, we had some breaking news that we got from sources. And most of you guys know I've been in the industry in journalism, I don't know, since the late 80s and covered the Detroit Lions on a full-time basis, along with sports in general from the 90s, 2000s, 2010s, etc. One of those sources did get over to me. The Lions had conversations with current free agent Matt Judon, the former All-Pro, sack master, everything else. Probably if you remember when the Lions and MCDC, I want to say it was year 1 or 2 of this regime, we went into New England and Judon, he put on a wrecking crew against our offensive line. Last year he played in Atlanta, didn't go some great, was a lot of reasons for that. But now, as about 30 minutes ago, you have both Dave Burkett, who most of you guys know works for the Detroit Free Press full-time. I think we can all agree, respected journalist. And then you also have John Macarone from SI.com, Sports Illustrated, both reporting the same thing. They have it from their sources that the Lions and Judon's representation maybe are getting a little bit more serious about this relationship, about trying to merge together. We're going to bring on right here, right now, superfan Hutch Jr. Hutch Jr., the Lions appear to be on the doorstep of signing Judon. 2-part question. Do you think it's a good fit? And 2, do you think it means it's the end of any possibilities of Zadarius Smith returning to the Detroit Lions?
Yeah, so first question, I do think it's a good fit. The guy had 5.5 sacks last year with Atlanta. I think he ended up getting injured or something like that. I don't remember the whole detail. So obviously with the pieces like Levi going out for the year, this would be a good addition. 2, you don't need him to be as productive as he usually is. I think his numbers will stay. I mean, I could see him coming in and having the Zadarius type number of 7.5, 8 sacks. And especially if you're putting him with McNeil, Davenport, apparently Ahmad Hassan, he's doing really well in training camp. And not to mention, you put anyone next to Hutch, they're going to thrive. 2, to that second part question, I do think he would be cheaper than Zadarius. I think we know Zadarius's probably contract is right around that $12 to $15 million range. I think you can get Judon a little bit cheaper than that, maybe guarantee some of that money. I think depending on where they feel this guy's going to fit, it might be something where they bring him on after week 1 after they play Green Bay. A lot of people know, that's kind of when a lot of these teams sign these vets anyways, because you don't have to guarantee a lot of that money. So we'll see what they do as far as that. But props to you, man, getting this over. We kind of talked about it off air a couple times about it. I think they should personally sign him. I think it's a good fit for this team. You don't really need him to be that crazy, 12.5, 13.5 sack guy, but I think he can still bring you 7, 8 sacks, depending on, how they use him and just for the depth alone. I mean, the guy's a veteran. He knows how to get to the quarterback. He's a little more athletic than most of the guys we have. So I think it's a good fit for us. I would love to see the Lions actually make the signing. Who knows? Brett Holman might shock us and sign Zadarius and Judon. I don't know. I mean, I highly doubt it, but who knows?
If you go back to the NFL draft, there were a lot of things that came out, I want to say 24, 48 hours afterwards. I know I went on air during the draft and said, hey, I've got word that the Lions are trying to move up from their pick. I think it was like 5 spots to try to get somebody. The person I heard was James Pierce, whatever. I forget the kid's name.
Yeah.
One of the best linebackers out there. A lot of people said, that he's a 3-4 linebacker. The Lions wouldn't have any interest. But now when we see Judon and all the linebackers being added this offseason, do you think, man, Kelvin Shepherd wants to use more speed, more athleticism with a 3-4 set to get after the quarterbacks?
Yeah, I do, and I think that's tall tailing. If anyone's been kind of keeping up on, if you guys have been watching or hearing about the news about Jack Campbell Campbell's been kind of the leader of this offense or this defense. He's been really shining in the training camp, and I know people are going to say, well, it's training camp, let's not get too excited, but this guy is in year 2 or 3 now. He's kind of taken this offense over. Yeah, it's going to be very interesting. I think we've always needed linebackers that can go side to side. I think that's kind of been our weakness in many parts of this defense is we just never had like the speed linebackers. I remember back to the days of, even in college days, Devin Bush was a huge name that, he played for Michigan, but he was very fast. And I remember there was times where I wouldn't have minded him on the team. So, now wondering what Kelvin Shepherd wants for this defense, I would not be shocked if this is where we're going to a 3-4 more kind of speedy, get to the sidelines, take things away, and then kind of bring them, that defense down. You look at Hutch, you look at Davenport. These are guys that they want to be physical, they want to be fast, and they want to be athletic.
So let's Scooby-Doo this real quick. Why do you think if the Lions do end up signing Matthew Judon, why do you think they didn't go after Za'Darius again?
I think
it's the asking price.
Yeah, I think it's the asking price, man. He's 30, 31, 32. Yeah, and I think he's kind of enjoying what he's doing in the offseason right now. I know we've been back and forth with this guy I don't know how many times. I think Brad Holmes kind of left it in Za'Darius' court, like, hey, man, if you want to play for us, this is the number. Here it is. Whether or not Brad Holmes comes down off that price, I don't know. I think that's kind of why maybe they've just kind of, hey, look, okay, we've gave you an option to sign with us. We're going to go look at other options. If it's a fit, we're going to sign them. Thanks for your service. We appreciate what you did, but they can't wait forever. There's going to be injuries that are happening. Teams are going to start swooping these guys up. Now's the time to jump. The same thing with Kaiser White when they brought him as a linebacker. You gotta get these guys when they're there because they might not be there later.
Yeah, I know we've talked about it in the past week or so. Once some injuries happen in camp, if you're if you think you have a legitimate shot at getting the Super Bowl, making a deep run in the playoffs, some of these free agents are going to be swooped up just because there's only so many bodies, as the Lions and Lions fans obviously know last year. There's only so many guys that can come off the street and actually help your team. All right, Hutch Jr., we got to get going and get off the air. Thanks for making time out of your busy schedule to jump on here. Why don't you go ahead and give yourself a shout out, tell everybody about you, your content, where to help find you and support you.
Yeah, as always, thanks for having me again, Dan. Appreciate it. I know you're pretty busy too, so thanks for going on this. Check out Facebook. There is a new Facebook group on there called The Lions Den. We do post all the clips from here, things like that, all the new Lions updates. I actually, when Dan had this, it was something I kind of put it out there about Judon, and people were like, there's no way, I don't see it. But as we know now, it's came to fruition. So, and then as always, you can find me on Twitter, Superfan Hutch, and then cmvradio.com.
All right, everybody take care. Enjoy your Friday night. We'll have, if there is any more breaking news later today, probably won't be able to get to you. The wife and I are going to see the Fantastic Four, so hopefully it's not too bad. Take care. Enjoy the day. Hit the subscribe button. Hit the like button. We'll catch you all on the next Lions Talk Live. Take care, everybody. You're still here? What are you doing here? It's over. The show's over. Go home.